Okay. Hi, everyone. So, I am going to just introduce myself for those of you who don't know me and then just start talking about um, this entire journey for the past, I think, year and a half is what I'll cover. And then as people pop in, you can go ahead and ask your questions and I'll answer. So, hey, I am Vikeejeah, and this is my channel full of all my antics. Lots of videos on like product reviews and K-pop stuff, and just me being me, spazzing out about stupid shit, all that. Um, I also have some videos on my weight loss journey, starting with the initial process, like speaking to my primary care physician and having her say, "Hey, girl, you about to break you're about to break 430 pounds. I'm going to need you to get it together." And I said, "I think you're right, because I can't even make it through a full night's sleep because I can't breathe." I had sleep apnea. And that I've had that since my first go round of college when I was 17. So I started to go to the gym and realized, hey girl, your knees don't really work that well. And then my doctor said maybe you should just do the elliptical instead of the treadmill. And then they said, well, maybe yoga, since you have to be on your knees a lot, is probably not that good for you either. And I thought, okay, well then maybe I could just do weight training and eat better. And so I started to do that too, and I started to try to like figure out what was going to work for me. Uh, and somewhere between getting it together and um, life happening, I stopped focusing on myself. I was doing really well. I was living on my own, not by myself. I mean, college student earning a modest living doesn't really live by themselves in Boston. I had like several roommates, but I was on my own, away from my parents. And I had some dogs who kept me active. I walked them in the early AM before work, and then walked them after work, and then walked them in the evening before bed. So that was part of my exercise for the day. I was buying my own groceries, so I was eating pretty well and staying active, like going out with friends and volunteering at the animal shelter. Like I was very active when I lived in Boston. So I called it being functionally obese. Good grief, freaking fruit fly. I called it being functionally obese. So you think to yourself, because I'm generally healthy, I don't have high blood pressure, I don't have diabetes, I'm just fat, I just like to eat, like, like you think like that, and then you feel like it's not a pressing issue that you do something about it. And that's how I felt at the time. I think I was around like 360 pounds when that happened. So fast forward about 5 years. This is after I had to return home because um, the job market crashed. I lost my job and I had to get on unemployment, and that wasn't enough to pay for rent and blah, blah, blah. So I ended up moving out to the burbs, far enough to where public transportation no longer brought you into Boston. So I was working at this like super minimum wage job, and I still had one senior dog to take care of who required medical, it required prescriptions and required like a lot of my time. And it wasn't until he passed away that I actually had free time, like all to myself, to focus on me. And I was still on unemployment at the time. But I was also just not active like I used to be. When you're in the suburbs, I don't know if a lot of people know this, but you tend to drive everywhere. And so that's what we did. I drove everywhere. We ate fast food. And by we, I mean my mother and I. And our eating habits just got worse and worse because we were relying on a small amount of money to last us for the month. And my mother was trying to maximize on the amount of food that we would be able to have and would stretch throughout um, throughout the month. So the food choices became prepackaged, processed, and full of everything that's bad for you. So I piled on a smooth 60 pounds on top of the 360 I already had. And I was experiencing health issues. My knees were killing me. My ankles were killing me. My lower back. Um, the sleep apnea got worse. I would wake up 4 times in the night because I stopped breathing. And I didn't know it at the time, but I was extremely depressed because of the direction my life was going. I had recently broken off an engagement, and my dog passed away, who I adopted at 12 years old. So I expected that he was going to die early, but it was just really hard, obviously, to, something you loved and nurtured deteriorate. A lot of people can relate to that. Next was health issues relating to allergies. And that's when I started to see a doctor. That's when the doctor said, you really have to do something about your health. All of the things that are ailing you, aside from the allergies, of course, are related to your weight, including my knee, which I injured at 16. But because I had put on so much weight, it wouldn't make sense for me to have knee surgery because of the weight that would be bearing down on the newly fixed knee. So they said, hey, if you lose a significant amount of weight, then we can fix your knee. And then I thought to myself, what a vicious cycle. I have this knee issue that I need to lose weight in order to fix, but losing weight in terms of exercise is difficult because my knee is so poorly, is functioning so poorly. So this, on top of finding out that I had hypoactive thyroidism, meant that it was going to be very difficult for me to lose weight on my own without extreme measures, such as eating once a day and doing a partial liquid diet for the rest of my life, which is not realistic. Like, that's just not realistic. Who wants to be on a partial liquid diet for their entire life? So, and who can? I don't have that kind of self-control. I'm not even going to pretend that I do. So in order for me to lose weight, I was going to have to explore the option of a bariatric procedure. So I did. I did my research, and I went to Tufts Medical Center and Boston Medical Center to explore their weight loss programs. Took copious notes and compared the stats on the 3 types of surgery that are available at the moment, which are gastric bypass surgery. And in gastric bypass surgery, your stomach is stapled to about the size of an egg. The size of a regular egg, by the way, not a grade A extra large egg, but just a regular egg. And then they move your intestines to the portion of your stomach that's going to be receiving food. And that's the whole point of the bypass portion of it. Like, your intestines are, your stomach is connected to your intestines, and your intestines are bypassing the rest of your stomach. So that's the whole thing behind that. And then they have lap band surgery, which is an adjustable inflatable apparatus that is installed near the top of your stomach, and the inflatable tube that is surrounding your stomach is filled with air and adjusted so that you can or can't eat a certain amount of food at a time. There is no cutting of the stomach in this case, so a lot of people prefer it, but there is a lot of follow-up visits with your doctor to adjust the air in the tube. And I didn't really care for the idea of that. Also, it's the least effective of the 3, put it that way. Depends on the individual, of course, but I have heard through my support group at Boston Medical Center that a lot of people wished they had gone with something else. But for some people, it is very effective. So, again, like, you'll have to do your own personal research to decide, if that one is best for your lifestyle. The final option, which was the newest of the three, is the sleeve gastrectomy. And in this particular procedure, which is the one that I chose, your stomach is stapled, much in the way that it is for gastric bypass. However, the portion of your stomach that is stapled off is actually removed, and you're left with a section of your stomach that is connected to your intestines. There's no cutting of the intestines. There's no moving of anything. You simply just cut a portion of your stomach out so you can't eat as much, and that's it. The procedure is very quick. The scarring is very minimal. I actually only have 3 little dots on my stomach, and they look like my acne scars, which you can't see right now because I have on makeup. But acne scars, let's put it that way. They're not that big a deal. A little fade cream, you're all set. So I went through, I decided on that procedure. And once you discuss with your doctor which one you want to do, and they either confirm that you can do this based on your health conditions and pre-existing conditions and whatever, then you move on to visiting regularly with a nutritionist and a dietitian, and attending at least 2 mandatory support group meetings in the case of the Boston Medical Center's weight loss program. And that was the case for me. And so the requirement in order for me to have this surgery was to lose at least 30 pounds on my own. Now, in the past, in my life, unbeknownst to me, it was due to my thyroid issue, I could only lose 20 pounds. The most I've ever lost on my own was 20 pounds. And it happened this time as well. They told me exactly what to eat. They told me what to do. I was working out a half an hour every day, doing cardio primarily. And it was working. I was dropping the pounds and I was like, oh yeah, I'm about to do this. This is great, yada, yada. And I started to plateau at 20 pounds. And that's when my dietitian ended up, my nutritionist, let me go in order here. My nutritionist suggested a prescription diuretic to help curb my appetite, and perhaps that would help. We tried that. I think I lost another pound in a month. So it just wasn't going well. And so I talked with my dietitian and she said, well, perhaps due to your thyroid issue, it would be a great idea for you to do a partial liquid diet. So I started to have 2 protein shakes a day, and protein shakes can be slim fast. They can be, there's plenty of them out there. There's powdered protein and all that. So 2 protein drinks and then 1 carb-free meal per day. This was absolute hell, but I did it because, hey, the idea that I was so close to setting my surgery date and getting this together was more important to me than having pasta or rice or bread or any grains, really. Like, I just didn't care. Fine, I'll just eat a little extra salad, whatever. So I did it, and I reached, I lost 29 pounds of the 30 required for the surgery. My doctor said, that's good enough, girl. Let's get you booked. And the day of surgery, I'd actually lost 2 more pounds by the time it was all said and done. And so my surgery date was August 20th of 2000. I went in super excited. I was like, my life is about to change. Now, you talked to me early on in this process, and I was terrified. And it wasn't because of surgery. It was because of some other stuff. Like my mortality, I was in question because of some other psychological stuff. But by the time I had come around to surgery, and I received so much support from some of my family members who I was really close to and talking to at the time, and friends, you know, online and otherwise, who were just really supportive of the idea of me getting back to me, I was ready to go. Now, my mama, Mama wasn't ready for me to go. She was like a mess that day. And I mean, understandably so, but it wasn't really helpful to me. trying to keep a clear head about this. I mean, I've never had surgery before. So going under the knife was nerve wracking for me. And I couldn't deal with her fears. You know what I mean? So I was like, okay, I can't look at my mom because she's bawling. And I love you, Mom, but can you please leave? I just couldn't deal. But actually, surgery, I mean, it's not as scary as I thought it was going to be. The room, the doctor that I had, Dr. Hess at Boston Medical Center, shout out to Dr. Hess, he's freaking awesome. He was very clear about everything. He was very personable. He explained the procedure very coherently. I like I didn't know, but the point is, he explained it to me. And the day of surgery, he had already done at least like 3 people before me. Like he'd been doing this. He's been doing this for 10 years. So in that sense, and Boston Medical Center is like one of the best hospitals in the state, in the country, possibly. But in the state, I know for sure it's one of the best. And so I just felt like I was in good hands. All of these people seemed like they were very knowledgeable. And even some of the people who work for Dr. Hess have had the procedure and had good results. So I felt like I was prepared for this. I was ready for this. I don't have like pre-existing conditions that would make this a difficult procedure for me. So I fall asleep and I woke up and I had heartburn, like gas, not necessarily, it wasn't burning, but I had gas, like I was belching, because they fill your stomach with air during the surgery so that they can get to the organs they need to get to, move things around and do whatever. So I had a lot of air in my stomach. And I was just a little uncomfortable because I had just been fiddled around with and probed with 5 apparatus up in my body. So it felt a little weird, but I wasn't in a lot of pain. It was just uncomfortable. Right when I got out of surgery, when they woke me up from surgery, they had me breathe into this. Oh gosh, I should have brought it out with me. If anybody knows what I'm talking about, please comment. It is it's this mechanism where you push air into it and the little tab goes up and it measures like the pressure from your breath. So I had to get it up to a certain number in order for them to stop asking me to do it. I was so groggy that and cranky that I really didn't want to do it. But I did it, of course. And I was still really tired. I think that night I had only gotten 4 hours of sleep. So I was just, on top of the anesthesia, I was done. I could barely keep my eyes open. My mom was just really happy that I was alive. And then I just wanted to sleep. So they gave my room where I was going to be staying. And because Boston Medical Center is a teaching hospital or it's a college as well, a medical college. I'm gonna get my words together, I promise you. I had some student doctors coming in and talking with me and asking me to do surveys and all this other stuff, and that was fine. But the point is, I didn't get any sleep. I tried to sleep and things were beeping, stuff that was attached to me. It was a lot. So I had to stay in the hospital for at least 2 days post-op. And because they have to make sure that you're okay, that you're going to heal properly and that you're able to keep down liquids. Because when you come out of surgery, you're on an all liquid diet for 2 weeks. So the first step was for me to keep down water. The amount of water is about the size of a medicine cup, on top of your NyQuil. So I had to keep that down. And they were giving me medicine to coat my stomach to keep my stomach from spasming. And to keep the antacid down, because when you have this surgery, you have very little stomach acid. So it's in order to sort of heal properly and to be able to take food in again, you have to go through this whole process. It's almost like learning to eat all over again when you are when you the way you did when you were a child, when you were a baby. You started out on liquid, and then they advanced you to like, you know, soft solids, and then you go to the solid food, and then you're eating regular food. Like it just goes like that. So they were giving me Crystal Light and chicken broth, and on day 2 I had to drink Ensure smoothies, or I think it was like Carnation. I don't know. I had to drink a protein shake, which was actually a lot. Like it felt like it was too much for me to eat or drink, keep down. And it was taking me a long time to eat it or to ingest it. Let's put it that way. So in my desperation, and this is, I do not recommend this, you guys, what I'm about to say. I just need you guys to know that I was in a desperate spot and I wanted to get the hell out of this hospital. And here's why. It had nothing to do with the nurses, nothing to do with the doctors. My neighbor in my room was so annoying. Like she was a lovely woman herself, but her kids, bless them, they were just, you know, they were just excited. But I could not get any sleep every time they came to visit her. And they were there for a long, long time when they came to visit her. They were just so loud. It was like they were home. And because she is, you know, just had surgery like I did, she's not in a state where she can properly say, hey kids, keep it down, blah, blah, blah. But the husband also didn't seem to think this was a problem. And so I had to have the nurse tell them to be quiet, because I was like, I don't want to say it because I'm going to sound mean. I know I am, because I'm on these meds and I'm really uncomfortable. So please, can you please have them keep it down just so I can get a little bit of sleep. I really wanted to rest, because being awake and having that gas on me, it was just, and then all the beeping from the stuff that was attached to me, and the what is that thing? It's this machine that doles out the pain medicine when you press the button. That thing was beeping when it was empty. Like everything was beeping around me. It was just so, like it was a nightmare. So yeah, that happened. And they were telling me that I would have to stay another night if I wasn't going to be able to keep this protein shake down or get it down within an hour. So I went to the bathroom, I dumped that shit out. Like I was like, listen, I'm fine. I just don't feel like drinking the damn shake. That's all it is. So I got rid of it. I drank like half of it and washed my wounds while I was in there, like making sure they were nice and clean and whatever. And then I said, hey, look at that. I'm finished. Let me out of here. They did. And then I told my mom what I did, and she was really mad. But I was like, hey, you gonna put me back in the hospital? Like, let's go home. So they sent me home with a prescription for oxycodone, the liquid version of oxycodone. And I had to take that every 6 hours. And then they gave me a prescription for, oh gosh, come on, babe. They gave me a couple of prescriptions for post-op to help me heal. Let's put it that way. And because it's been a year. I don't remember what the prescriptions were. I'm very sorry. So after that, I did a lot of sleeping for the next 3 days. So this is 2 days post-op. And then the next 3 days, I did a lot of sleeping, because that oxy knocks you out. But for good reason, because you're still a little tender in there. And I actually had to rest using a pillow. I mean, I guess you could use a body pillow, but if you don't have one, just the pillow long ways, and literally resting my stomach on that as I slept on my side. And that was most comfortable for me. Also, they require that you walk around just to keep your blood circulating and keep your body, keep the blood flow through your body so that you don't get blood clots. Because that's, if you're prone to it, obviously that's going to be a high concern. But just as a precaution, they asked me to walk around, not necessarily on a treadmill or something like that, but just walk around my apartment as much as I possibly could while I was awake. And then I was on like tomato soup and chicken broth and anything liquid really, Crystal Light if I wanted to change it up, change the flavor of my water up. And that was pretty much it. I think I had a little pea soup that was like super pureed. You can't have any solids at all. So for the next 2 weeks, that was the deal. And then I went back to see the doctor and I had lost 26 pounds since the surgery. Like 2 weeks, you guys, I lost 26 pounds. That was extreme. And that was probably the largest amount of weight that I lost in that small amount of time. After that, it became gradually became 10 pounds a month. And that was with moderate exercise, nothing ridiculous, and just following my dietitian's suggestions for each phase that I was in. So after the liquid phase, I moved on to soft foods. Like I advanced a little bit. So it wasn't just liquid, it was like thick liquids like pudding and yogurt and, excuse me, like pureed vegetables and pureed fruits and things like that. Once that phase was over, so for the next 2 weeks, I had to have that. And then I went back to see my dietitian again, and of course, follow up with my surgeon just to make sure everything was okay and check my stitches, see if they had to take some things out. They did remove one stitch that didn't fall out or dissolve, and that was it. The rest of the things had already healed up by that time. So the next phase was proteins. I was eating fish, a lot of it, salmon, any white fish, and tuna. And so I was still avoiding carbohydrates, and then focusing on vegetables, but also learning how to, in the sense that I had to chew my food extremely thoroughly. You know how they tell you to chew your food into a paste, but we generally don't do that. We take 4 or 5 bites and then we swallow. But I had to be very conscious about chewing my food thoroughly, because if I didn't, I was instantly reminded. And by that, I mean, I would throw up. I'm just going to say it. Like, I would get nauseous, and it felt horrible, and it would just come right back up. So even if you decide you're not going to listen to the doctor, your body is going to make you listen. So I did follow up and go to another support group meeting just to, talk about my progress and share my story with the group. And they were, of course, everybody is really supportive, because you got people who are just starting out, and you've got people who have been through it, and people who have been, already past the phase of removing skin. Like it's a very mixed group of people who you can get different perspectives from. After about 2 months, I was able to eat solid food again, but my dietitian suggested that I continue eating every 2 hours. So it was small meals every 2 hours, which averaged out to about 6 meals a day. And so I was eating from saucers, like just very small plates of food. And that would take me about an hour to eat. When I tell you, you have to eat slowly, I mean you have to eat slowly. I did work my way up to being able to clear a plate in about 45 minutes. So I think that's where I'm at now. Even after a year, it takes me a long time to eat food. And I'm just generally not that hungry. Sometimes I'm starving, especially on hormonal times during the month. But even when I am starving, a couple of bites is enough to sustain me. And that is what has gone the longest way towards losing the weight. And as a byproduct of losing weight, I naturally became more active. At first, it was something that I had to be conscious of, about going out to work out. And I was just walking around the neighborhood. I didn't join a gym. I didn't when I lived in a facility that had its own gym, that's what I would do. I would go downstairs and go to the gym. But after that, when I moved back to the suburbs, well, it was always a suburb, but when I moved out of the apartment that had the gym facility, I just walked around my neighborhood a couple of times around the block, maybe 2 blocks, something like that. I just made sure that I walked at least a mile. And the weight just continued to come off. I was losing 10 pounds a month consistently, sometimes a little bit more, until I arrived where I am today at, well, my starting weight during this journey was 427 pounds, and I am now down to 318. So it's a little over, it's about 109 pounds, I think. Yeah, 109 pounds. So yay for losing the weight of a small child. So I'm really excited about that. I have, I had goals for myself. I wanted to have lost 100 pounds by my anniversary, and I did, the anniversary of my surgery. And my weight has plateaued a little, but I think that just means I have to ramp up the workouts and vary them, and work on eliminating carbohydrates again. After discussing it with my dietitian this past summer, that's what she suggested I do. So I have been really, really trying to like keep the carbohydrates down. I eat a lot of salads. I try to vary that. I eat a lot of seafood. And for my snacks, I tend to focus on something as healthy as possible. I'll have a fruit plate. I'll have non-dairy yogurt, which is another thing that I had to learn to live without. I had to learn to live without dairy. Oh my God, it's so hard because I realized, once you realize like how much these things play a part in your daily life, you realize how hard it is to give up. It's not as hard as it would have been maybe 10 years ago even, but it's still very difficult for me to find non-dairy yogurt. I have to go to like this one specific grocery store chain that sells non-dairy yogurt. And the two that I really enjoy are soy yogurt and coconut milk yogurt. Both are very yummy. I think I like the coconut milk yogurt a little bit better because it has a better consistency than the soy yogurt. Also, canned tuna or pouched tuna is really awesome for dressing up your salad. I like to also keep shrimp on hand because I love it. And it usually lasts me several weeks because I'll just use a few in my salad. I still love bacon. So, but I've kind of fancied up my bacon and gone with pancetta. Diced pancetta that I'll sprinkle like bacon bits on my salad. So I'll just have a little salty bite here and there. I make my own soups a lot. And so I can control the amount of vegetables and the sodium content because I do have high blood pressure. And while I am on medication to level it out, I do still want to, control my salt intake because salt also makes you retain water. And who wants that added weight? That's not even real weight. Let's see, what else do I, well, yeah, like I said, the fruit plates and salads. And with salads specifically, I'm starting to have a little fun with that. I'm not just eating romaine lettuce. I want to eat things that actually have nutritional value because I need to maximize the nutrition that I take in. I am now on vitamins permanently because of how small my stomach is. I can't really throughout an entire day ensure that I am going to take in the proper amount of nutrition. So I take a multivitamin and I take calcium. I take iron because I am slightly anemic. And I take B12, the liquid version. And then just my thyroid medication and my blood pressure medication. Those are, and then my Flonase for my allergies. Good God, like every morning, every morning, I'm on those medications and knocking them back in one quick gulp, if you will. I also try to maximize my nutrition intake by having a small glass of prepared smoothies. Naked Juice has them, Odwalla has them, Bolt House, whatever you feel like paying for, because honestly, Bolt House is the least expensive and they all pretty much have the same amount of nutritional value. They're also very high in calories, so don't overdo it. Like, don't drink a whole bottle, because that's a meal, just so you know. Let's see, what else can I share with you? Yes, the greens, back to the greens. So I go for like baby kale, baby spinach, little arugula, sometimes spring mix. I really kind of stay away from romaine. It doesn't have a lot of nutritional value. The darker greens have more nutritional value. So that's what I go for. And I'll just mix them up, and sometimes I'll put some radishes and some cherry tomatoes, some red onion, a little bit of peppers if I'm feeling like I want something colorful. But I do try to avoid peppers for the most part, and onions, because they give you gas, and that can really creep up on you when you have this surgery, because as I found out, in a not so pleasant way, spicy things and things that cause acid reflux, you don't feel them anymore because you don't have stomach acid to back up into your esophagus. So what ends up happening is your esophagus can become inflamed, and it can be a very unpleasant experience in which you need to visit the emergency room. So I also take an antacid as a result of that, just as a precaution, because I don't ever want to feel that again. So that's where I'm at. I am 109 pounds lighter. I have far more face and chin than I used to. I am back to fitting in regular ass plus size clothes and not sweatpants because nothing else fit. I can make it up to the third floor where I currently live without losing my breath. I am back to activities and a social life, like all these different things. And so I'm not depressed anymore. Yay. It's a new lease on life. As I decided to go for it, something that I knew was going to help me in my life, and I had to just be unafraid, educate myself, and go for it. So that's that. That's me talking for a smooth 45 minutes. I am like, wow. Do you guys have any questions? Oh, the floor is open. Ask me anything that you want related to weight loss surgery or weight loss or my diet or whatever. Just that is a K-pop star, Z. That is a K-pop star, girl. That's funny. Do you guys have any questions? I just babbled for a smooth 45 minutes. I hope that was informative. I hope that you guys get something out of it. And I'm going to open the floor for the next 15 minutes. I did say that this chat was going to be for 2 hours, but that was contingent upon how many people ended up hitting up the chat. So I'm going to give the last 15 minutes of this hour to the question and answer section. Where is Bomb? I thought that she was coming to this. I also saw that she got an A on whatever it is that she was getting an A on. Girl, congratulations. A's are great. Hey, Z, you've been working out. What have you been doing as far as your diet and your journey towards health? It's fitness. I know that there's a delay in the video, so I'm just going to wait. Hey, 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 it's a revolution. There's so much going on. Yes. Yes, you do. I gave her a hard time earlier today, you guys. For those of you who don't know Z Zane, she's my co-host on the Bloop. And she was having her lunch, and it was a healthy size lunch. And I was like, right, right. And I was teasing her, and I'm like, damn girl, like what the hell? How much food are you eating? And it was really just me projecting the fact that I can't eat like that anymore. So, because I bought Chinese food with my fat ass, and I was sitting here eating fried chicken wings. Okay, this is bad of me. I was eating fried chicken wings and crab ragoons, and she's eating sliced apples and peanut butter and a healthy sandwich. And I was teasing her for for eating straight out the damn peanut butter jar. Like I don't eat Nutella with pineapple in the same manner. Like I was just teasing her. She says that she puts as much food on her plate as she wants, and then she takes half of it and puts it in a container, so she's automatically eating half. She stays away from eating out if she can, eating out, like takeout. She tries to only do that once a week, and she found that depriving herself isn't helpful. I would agree. It's not. It is not helpful. Even in knowing that I can't eat certain things, I have a little bit. Like I had went to the Cheesecake Factory with my mom recently after my eye appointment actually, and I had 2 appetizers, which I knew I wasn't gonna finish either one of them. But I went ahead and got myself some avocado spring rolls, and I got Thai lettuce wraps, which were amazing. But I ended up taking home more than half of both of those things. And I had a slice of that pumpernickel bread with a little bit of butter. I had some water. I didn't order a drink or a cocktail, and took home a slice of dulce de leche. I gotta tell you, it took me the rest of the day into the next day to finish all of that. And I ate nothing else but that because I'm not a big fan of wasting food. So I didn't want to make more food. I just ate what the leftovers were. Z tries to hit the gym 3 times a week for at least an hour to an hour and a half. If she has a good playlist. Yes, ma'am. Because I worked my way up to an hour. I started out doing half an hour in the gym, and I worked my way up to an hour. And having that music is so helpful. What do you guys listen to when you work out? Let me know, because I'm into varying my playlist. I'm starting to get back into Western music again. So just let me know what you like to listen to. I really like I like long mixes. Like I've been listening to some stuff on SoundCloud. I really love the intros from The Read. And that's a really good mix. I got that James J. Ames mix of Work, the 4 works. That is some good stuff to work out to. So what do you do at the gym, Z? I'm really about to get into some planks, my damn self. I've been watching Miss Janelle B. Stewart. Shout out to Kinky Curly Coily Me. She has been showing her weight loss journey post baby, and she's doing the damn thing. She's like I think she's 5 months. She's been doing it for 5 months. She's doing a lot of great workouts. You know what? I've never noticed how many calories are in an Outshine bar. Boy, do I devour them. That's one of my favorite snacks these days. Outshine bars. True that. Z says that empty calories aren't helpful if they aren't, even if they are delicious. This is true. One of my weaknesses, and the reason I think that I am at this impasse and unable to get past the 300 mark, is I am insanely hormonal a week to 2 weeks before my menstrual cycle. So there's only like this 1 week window where I'm like normal. And then there's the bloating. So like I don't even know what's real on the scale. And then I'm all in my feelings and I'm just hungry. And so I'm eating whatever the hell. Like I'll pick up some healthy eats, but I'll also grab some chocolate, salted caramels, Reese's, Snickers, almond, and regular, peanut butter squared. Like I just Starbursts, like all my weaknesses. And they're right there at the freaking counter when you go to Rite Aid or CVS or Walgreens or whatever the hell, and they're all on sale. Ugh. It's just the worst. So you do 2 miles on the arch machine or the treadmill. Now, what's the arch machine? Is that the one that you kind of swing? You swing and you hold onto those bars? Is that what that is? Because I thought that was the elliptical. Although there are like 2 machines that kind of have that handle. Oh, by the way, Z, I was able to do my face in half an hour because I didn't do any eyeshadow, any contouring, or blush. I literally just put on foundation, a touch of concealer, some liner, filled in my brows and a lip. Okay, got you. One of the side effects of rapid weight loss is what I call bat wing syndrome. This right here. How you doing? This shit right here. And that is why after you've lost all the weight and maintained your weight for a year, they will remove the excess skin. I am all about my Spanx. I am currently cinched in with a cardigan, a tummy control cardigan, and a really good bra. Like that's what's happening right here on today. So thank you, Z. I'm proud of my bat wings. They're like a badge of honor. Because you know what? I can see my shoulders. I remember when it looked like I just didn't know anything. And this whole situation right here was like down to here. And then my neck was like up to here. Like I had like all this was up here. So I had like no neck. I didn't even know I had a neck anymore. I didn't know what it looked. I didn't know how long it was or anything. I'm not even like I'm only being half funny. Like I'm saying that this was real and that I did not know that I had a neck. I can actually touch my collarbone very quick, very readily. I didn't even know where the hell it was. So, amen to that. So, although the video is ending soon, this hangout here is ending pretty soon, I just want to thank you, Z, for being super supportive and coming through, because you can listen to me talk about this shit any day. Like, you didn't have to be here, but you are, and I appreciate you. I think that making the video in general, you know, I opened it up just in case people wanted to talk live, but even still, I'd like for you guys to comment and ask your questions. I will definitely check back and answer as soon as I can. And if, in fact, you guys would like to have another live chat session, live Google Hangout, if there's anybody who has experienced the weight loss surgery for themselves and wants to share their story, we can do a Hangout where you actually join me on the Hangout. So yeah, just let me know if that's what you want to do. Comment and let me know. Like the video. That's how I'll know that you want me to do the do another session like this, another Hangout. So to recap, the weight loss surgery programs that are available around the country actually are a process. They are a process in which you are you should attend a conference of sorts where they discuss all the different types of surgeries that are available. You can meet with a doctor, a surgeon who specializes in weight loss surgery, and they can discuss with you through a consultation which surgery is best for you given your current health situation and what your goals are. Next, you're going to have to meet with a dietitian and a nutritionist to get yourself on the track towards the required weight loss that you will have to do undoubtedly in order to qualify for the surgery. Post-op, you are going to go through several phases. There are at least 5 phases to get you back towards eating regular food again. You have to be patient, you have to listen to your doctor, and you have to follow up with your doctors regularly. You may, you're definitely going to have to take medication after the fact. And no matter which surgery you choose, you are going to be on some type of supplement, period. It is best when you have had weight loss surgery to eat healthily, because your nutrition intake is what is important. It's not what you're eating, it's whether or not you are receiving the proper nutrients, because malnutrition is a real thing when you have had one of these procedures. I am happy to say that after every bout of blood work that I've had, that my levels are where they need to be, aside from a little bit of vitamin D deficiency that I go through every now and then because I used to be a bit of a homebody and didn't get enough sun. I had to take a couple of vitamin D pills, but outside of that, like my regular supplements and my allergy meds, like just basic stuff that I would be taking anyway. And that's it. You know, you have to be more conscious of your health when you're in this, when you've had weight loss surgery. It's not necessarily a burden. It's just an added layer of responsibility. And it's really not that hard. At least not for me, it isn't. There are plenty of women who I've seen on YouTube who shared their weight loss story, who will tell you maybe that it wasn't, you know, they wish they didn't do it, or that they're actually really enjoying the journey and feeling good again. But it is something you have to remain open about, open-minded about, because you're going to have to adapt your life, no matter how you look at it. And if that's something that seems like a burden to you, then you probably aren't going to want to do this. But just think about this. Which is more burdensome? Carrying around all that extra weight, or living a healthy life and being able to live your life? Because for me, the answer was the latter. That's it. So thank you guys for watching, and I hope you enjoyed the video. I will update you guys soon. I am going to get a new ISP. I can't upload videos because my internet sucks. but I'm going to get a new ISP before the end of the year. I'm going to upload all these videos I got saved up on this computer. Don't you worry about it. all of my subscribers who weren't here for the K-pop, they were here for my other videos. I'm sorry. I will get back to you, I promise. So until next time, you guys, peace and thanks again for watching and supporting. Mwah.